Right, thank you, and good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here again for this second round, part 2 of this sharing on Microsoft, what do you call this, Microsoft Word. All right, just give me a second. I'll just share my screen. Oh, what did I share? Wrong
Music.
screen. I shared the wrong screen. How do I get out of here? Sorry, share the wrong screen.
No problem.
Hey. Did I share the sound? Okay, I think I need to. Okay. Now let's listen to a song before we start.
Thanks for coming to the meeting. Don't forget to say hello. It's so great to grab a greeting, one from everyone we know. Have a hearty hug, a howdy. Haven't seen you in a while. If it's muggy or it's cloudy, we will leave you with a smile.
Thanks for coming to the meeting.
Thanks a lot, thanks a lot.
Don't forget to say hello.
Say hello, say hello.
It's so great to grab a greeting.
Meet and greet.
One from everyone we know.
We all know
It's so great to grab a greeting.
It's so great to grab a greeting. Haven't seen you in a while. So thanks for coming to the meeting. We will leave you with a smile.
Just to cheer up your evening a little bit, huh? Okay.
Okay.
Today I'll just go by the flow and see how much we can cover, right? And let's see whether you have any question regarding this. So the topic that we're covering today is about formatting, and I have part 1 and part 2 about it. I'm not too sure whether I can finish everything in part 1 part. That's why I break it down into 2. Now, for your information, Microsoft Word, the formatting has been divided into 2 distinct groups. One is called the font formatting, and the other is called the paragraph formatting. So text formatting and paragraph. So let's look through what are the formattings available for those font formatting. So I'll just open up this thing called formatting here. Okay. So when we talk about font formatting or character formatting, basically it's all about changing words, not paragraph, word by word. You can change the word. So I have a few sample here that you can use. Like this sample, sorry, this particular word, the word font. Now you can change the different type of font. Okay, we understand size is this one. But when we change the size, if we do not know what is the best size to use, we can always use something up here called the A, the big A and the small A the big A and the small A, that will help you to actually make it bigger or smaller. This is the size.
现在我在上这个呢是为期9个礼拜，每一天1个小时罢了。OK。
Thank you. And I guess this kind of formatting is not such a big deal. So we have font size, bold, italic. I think this is very common. Anyone who uses Microsoft Word will know about this. Then underline. Underline comes in many different forms of underline nowadays. So when you double click it and you go into this underline, you notice that the underline can come in wavy lines, it can come in dash line, it can come in dotted line, and so on. Right? Line dot also can. So it can have many different type of underline now. Not just one line, but can be a double underline, can be a thick underline, and all this. So it depends on how do you want to underline the text. So it become wavy lines, can become wavy lines. It can become a dash line like this. So you can have all the different type of what you call underline. Then strike through. Strike through is basically helping you to cancel off certain text when you are preparing your work, right? You tell them, okay, we don't no longer use this one, you can strike through. They got the strike through and the double strike through. Okay, so what you can see from the font here is only a strike through. This one is called a strike through, one line only. So if I double click, I click this one, they'll be just cross it over. But how to get the double strike through? The double strike through, you have to, okay, let's highlight the text. You have to click this launcher. Inside here, they got double strike through. So everything else that you cannot find in the ribbon up here, you have to find it here. They have many more effects that you can use. They have something called shadow. They have something called outline, emboss, engrave, small cap, all cap, and also height. Okay, so I want to talk about this few things here. Okay, so they are all down here. Now, if you talk about superscript, you remember Superman? It's actually meant fly on top lah. Right? Subscript means subway. Subway, you go underground, so it's underneath. So this is where you can put in all those like CO2, where you can have the degree, 32 degree, where you can put a little O on top there, you know, this kind of thing. So let's just say superscript, no, superscript. So let's just say I want to put here 32 degree. So I put an O, then I put Celsius. So I can use this O and I make it into superscript. So it will become like that. Can bluff on lah, so it's up to you. Right? So if you want to use something called H2O, so the 2, you can make it subscript, become H2O. So yes, you can do all those CO2, H2O, those kind of subscript and superscript that you have. Right? So let's say you want to put 2 to the power of 2. So you know how to do. 2 to the power of 3, let's say 2 to the power of 3. So what you do is you highlight the 3, you make it superscript, 2 to the power of 3. This is where you use the superscript and subscript. Then you have all these shadow, emboss, and so on. They are not in this, but in available for you to choose. Okay, so they are not available that you can simply just click and use it. Okay, so therefore, this is not available. You have to launch this, apply a shadow. And this shadow is just a very simple shadow only, not something that you can adjust the depth line. So like Excel, you can adjust the depth line. So this one, no, it's just very simple shadow that you have. Okay. Then go by emboss. Emboss, it looks like emboss, outline, engrave. So these are the 3 that you don't really normally see until you launch this one. These are the one, engrave, emboss, and launch. Right. So for those of you who use Microsoft Word to design your logo or whatever, this is very useful because you don't find this in any other program except Microsoft Word. Okay, you don't find this formatting available in other programs, right? Like I think PowerPoint also don't have. Let me check. PowerPoint got another. Let's click inside here. Let's type something. See, they also don't have. They don't have that feature just now, no? They don't have. Even PowerPoint don't have that. But PowerPoint has more than that, which means they can actually do the special effects. But in Microsoft Word, there's no special effects. No effects. Okay. Now, what's the meaning of small cap? Small cap means the first alphabet is capital letter. The rest is smaller, but still capital letter. A smaller capital letter. That's why they call it small cap. So if you highlight this, the S and the MALL and the APS will be small, smaller capital letter, no, not small letter, but smaller capital letter. So you use something here called small cap. See, the first alphabet is bigger font size, so you type like a normal, but you can format it that way. All caps have been everything capital letter. Everything capital letter is all cap. Okay, so what's the difference between this one, uppercase, and all cap? Basically, they are about the same lah. You can use this immediately cap, uppercase, that would be great, right? Now, what happens if I type small letter after I use uppercase, right? After that, I start like small letter. So I put there ALLCAPS. See, it will still be small cap. Right? Now, if I go in here, I highlight this, I did all caps. Right? Then I type all small letter. I will not be able to type small letter anymore. Every time I type is a capital letter. So that's the difference between there. It looks almost similar, but they are not. You notice just now when I change it to all caps, when I type small letter, it will still be small letter. But this one, when you use all caps, unless you take away the all cap, otherwise it will always be capital letter. This is where a lot of people say, hey, how come this computer like that one? Everything type also capital letter. Is it the caps lock problem? No, it's this formatting. Okay, so just to give you an idea about if let's say you find yourself having that issue, you know what to do. All right. Now, after you remove the all caps, then it becomes small letter already. You see that? Okay. Now, color, I think all of you know what is color. All right. Then text. You see the text, the distance between the alphabet is greater. So how do you actually do that? You can go back into the font here. You will notice that there is something called advanced, and you can actually take a look at the spacing of the text. Right? Now, don't talk about spacing. Let's talk about scaling. So when you put the scaling to, let's just say 200, you'll notice that the text, they grow wider, but they did not grow taller. So you can go up to 400%. See, it will grow wider, but it didn't grow taller. Now that is the formatting that I showed you just now. This one, scale. So I put it back to 100. Now that's not what I want to show you. Put it back to 100, so you get back to normal. Okay, so let's do this again. So the one that you want to make it space out is this wording here. Okay, you can try the kerning. You can try the spacing. So if I try the spacing, I say I want it to be expanded, and increase the size to, let's say, 10, 11. So you see they actually space out. The text actually space out. So spacing is almost similar also, but the spacing is not so critical. Right? So yeah, you know lah, you just play with that. So those people who design logo and so on with Microsoft Word, this is what they can do. Okay, so if you draw a text box, you type the text, you can make it wider, then position it nicely, then it become a logo. It can be done. It can be done. So whatever that I'm showing you here is basically just a sample of all the wording lah. Now let's just say I got something here called size. Now I got two spelling here, S-A-I-Z and S-A-Z-E. Now what's the meaning? I have one English and one Bahasa. So if I'm going to prepare a Bahasa document, I will select this text. I will go to the font and I'm going to do this hide. I will hide it. So when I hide it, it's no longer showing that already. Okay, it's no longer showing that. So how to get it back? Never mind, just highlight. You know that there's a text next to this one. Let's go there and you can do the unhide. When you unhide, it will come back. Oops, what did I do? It totally go missing. Okay, over here. Hide and unhide. Okay. Oopsie. Yeah, now I come back. Okay, so we have to highlight the entire text there to bring it back. Okay, so this is useful for those people who have some hidden message behind, or you have some notes behind, you want to hide it, you can do that. And what you can do is you can just highlight everything and then just tell them to unhide. You unhide, then everything will appear. So you can, let's just say you have a few paragraphs. Now I use this a lot for translation, English and Bahasa. I don't want to have too many documents. So I put everything in one document. So one paragraph English, one paragraph Malay, or one particular article English, one article Malay. So I can hide one of them whenever I want to put the English. I hide the PM. That is something that we can do, right? So basically, I'm just showing you what is character formatting. I think this one, no brainer lah. I think a lot of people can do this. Okay, so let's close this file. Now, the next one that I want to talk about is the paragraph formatting. Now, paragraph formatting, I have touched a little bit last week, but I'm going to do that again over here. Okay, so when it comes to paragraph formatting, it's not about highlighting a word anymore. You don't have to highlight. If you want this paragraph to be formatted, when I say formatted means I want the paragraph formatting. So you look at this one. This is all the paragraph formatting here that you can use. Okay, example, you want this paragraph to be colored with red, not red lah, light red lah, light yellow lah. So you can go to the filter here and you can just use the color. You see? Do I need to highlight anything? No, I just click inside the paragraph. When I do that, this paragraph is highlighted with this orange color. So that is why they're called a paragraph format. That's because it will apply to entire paragraph, not just the wording or the selection. Okay, they apply to the entire paragraph. Okay, so like border, let's say this particular title here, early spring 2003. So I want the whole paragraph to have a line. So like this. See, the line is until the end one is not an underline. This is a border. You can choose to have upper and lower border like this. You can have that kind of border, and this is actually a paragraph formatting. So if I want the center paragraph here to have the same thing, I'll do the same thing here. Okay, top and bottom, so there will be a line in between. Okay, so that depends whether you want to apply. Now another thing that you should know also is look at all these paragraphs. They are like so close to each other, right? You can highlight them. Now, without actually selecting all the three paragraphs, you just touch them and you see something from the beginning, the middle, and the last part here. You just have to go to the paragraph. You click this button here, paragraph setting. This is the spacing, paragraph spacing. So I want to have, I want to have a little bit of spacing after each paragraph. So this one is after. So there are 6 points. Now let's make it obvious. Let's make it 12 points. And I hit OK. There you go. It's very, very obvious. Now usually I don't use up to 12 lah. Maximum also I will use only 8. 8. Maximum is 8. I don't use until 12. 12 is by too far already. Okay, so you notice I only click the first paragraph, second, and the third paragraph. The rest is not. I only touch the paragraph. So whenever you touch the paragraph, it's good enough. The paragraph formatting will apply. Okay, see, since this is still touching, I will just click the justify, then it will be justified. Left and right justify. Okay, so that is something that you can think of. Now I highlight these three again. I want these three paragraphs to have a line spacing of 1.15 or 1.5 or 2.0. Now this is something useful for those of you who study for your PhD or your degree when you're writing your thesis, your assignment. Normally the instructions say 1.5 space or 2 spaces. So this is where you change it. So you just have to touch them only. Just have to touch them, and then you just decide whether it's 2 spaces or 1.5 spaces or 1.15 space. Space for normal writing is 1.1 space. Now, if you have a very old professor marking your paper, they will always ask for 2.0 because they need to read and they need to do a lot of writing. The older professor normally their handwriting very big one, so they need bigger space for them to actually write the comment in between. So you see, your document is very loose one. Okay? Unlike the legal document, very, very tight one. Very, very tight. So this one you can highlight and you can change to 1.15. Okay, so these are all paragraph formatting that I just mentioned. Paragraph formatting applies to the entire paragraph. So how do you know if you have a paragraph? I think last week I already mentioned the show height. So if you look at this address here, the garden company, I have a line break. Then 1, 2, 3, 4 Oak Street, I have a line break, then followed by Seattle, Washington, WA 10101. So this is one paragraph. So even if I apply, right, even if I apply some spacing here, I see, I apply this paragraph spacing, I make it very big, 24, they will still stick together. They won't go very far. They will not actually have any spacing. You see, the three lines still stick together. Even though I make such a big gap, they will not. Okay, so there will not be any gap in between them because they are in one paragraph. The after paragraph is after paragraph. After this paragraph, there is a 6 point. That's what they meant. Okay, so this is the paragraph formatting. So far, I didn't mention much about the other things. I only mentioned about the left justify. I talk about the spacing. I talk about the border. I talk about the color. So if I want this particular paragraph to be colored yellow, you see, colored yellow already. I just click inside and I did highlight. Okay, so these are all the very, very tiny little thing that you do when you are using Microsoft Word. Okay, now if I have a document that has number, so let me just close this one first. Okay, I go to this thing called bullets and numbering. Bullets and numbering. You look down here, you can compose. Now, if you have already typed out all the content, you can just highlight them. Because each of this is one paragraph, you can just use the bullet. Okay, if you don't like this bullet, just click the drop down list and choose whichever bullet that you want. Now, what you can do is you go and define your bullet. Define new bullet. You can choose the bullet from a symbol or any picture. So go to the symbol. From the symbol, you can decide what other picture you want. You can take from any other font. You can do for symbol. Scroll down and up to look for the symbol. Right? These are all the other things that you can use. Okay, so if you go and choose others like wingdings, W is down. Okay, let's say I go to W webdings. These are all the example of other symbols that you can use. Okay, so let's say you want the greenback. The greenback. Choose this one. So you have the greenback. Greenback means the money back lah. Money back. So okay. So now you have the money back already. So a lot of people like to use this kind of thing for your work. Now, if you want it to be numbered, just go and number it. Number it. Right, so now it's in number. Now, if you want this particular information that you bullet here to be arranged in alphabetical order, okay, so you can click this button. You highlight already, click. Right, so by paragraph, the text in ascending order. Click OK. So now you see they arrange in alphabetical order for you. So when you type, you don't have to really worry about your spelling, whether which one should come first, second, third, fourth. You can actually do the sorting order like what you do in your Microsoft Excel. So you see C, then D, then E, then F. So you can type in any order you like. Okay, let me undo. See, originally it was fruit first, then coffee. Then we have D down here, date, flowers. Then we even have L somewhere down here. S, V, V is in the middle. But when you actually arrange them, you can decide which direction you want. Right? Are you using the number or are you using the text? We are using the text in ascending order. They have different information. If you have date, then they are sort according to the date and so on. Just try them out. Try them out. Okay, so is it in order already? Okay, so this is bullets and numbering. Very simple way of getting your work done, I would say. Now, what happens if I have multi-level kind of information, multi-level? Now here I want to number them. Okay, so this one, I want to use something called module or chapter. Should I use this one? Okay, then I use this one. This one, 1 and then A, then Roman letter. So this is 1. So I can use this one to put it in. Right? So this is also using this, but I want it to go in. Right? So increase the indent. We go in. Then I click this one. I use the same one again, but I want to further indent it in. So this is the button for you to indent so that they have multi-level like this. It can be indented in the way right? Just to let you know it can be indented. So if you plan your work properly, this is how it should look like. So for every paragraph, you see your indentation is different. The indentation is different. This is where you choose what type. Sometimes you want to do 1.1, 1.11. This is where you decide this. Okay. Now, when we talk about styles, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we will be using this kind of thing. Okay, heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, those kind of thing. So we will talk about styles numbering later. But right now, I'm just showing you the common formatting that you always use. Okay, so here again, you use this one. Now, if you want, you can actually make this 3 paragraph first. Just click it. Right, just click it. Then after that, you click the paragraph that you want to indent. So this one, I want to indent. But this one, I want it to be further indented inside. So it can be done in that way. Or this one, I reduce it. This one, I bring in. So it's up to you. Yeah, you can do further indentation, this kind of thing. Okay, so if I want to make them look nice, I will just do a justify. So it will look neat. Yeah. Now these are called the bullets and numbering. All right, now I'm going to go away off here. I come down. Now in the real class, I will give them a lot of exercise here to try. Now, if let's say you didn't type out the text prior to that, what you want to do is you want to type like, okay, let's list out the list of fruits. So number 1, right? Oops, suddenly it jumped so far away. Okay, give me a second. I will clear the format first. So I type here number 1, then dot, and I space. Okay, it jumped a bit far in. I think it's because of the indentation just now. But never mind. This is the indentation. We can always push it back until here. Okay. So the indentation was actually using a bit further in one. So I type here oranges. So when I press enter, automatically you get 2 already. So apple, then you get 3. Now if you press a tab key, it will move to the second level that you see just now. So again, I need to pull back. Now my document is screwed up already. Let me just get a new one. 1 dot apple, 2 dot orange. Okay, 3 dot is maybe this one I want to bring it down and say Mandarin. Mandarin oranges, and this one is Sunkiss. Okay, then come back. Shift tab to go back. You can continue your list like that. Tab and shift tab, tab and shift tab. So the list can start from 1. Okay, now if I press enter again, then I break the chain already. So I type A dot space, then they start with alphabet now. Okay, so I type something, enter again. So I press enter again, I break the chain again. Now if I use this symbol, right, then I press spacebar, it become a bullet. Right. Now the greater symbol, it become a bullet. Okay, so there are not many that you can use. So just the greater symbol just now. If I use it like this, tab, nothing happened one. If I use something called hashtag, nothing happened one. It's only certain feature. That means if I put here greater, then I press space, nothing happened, right? But if I put greater, it will change. So only certain symbol allow only lah. So these are all numbering lah, numbering. You can either prepare your text earlier or you type it as you go. I type 1 dot, automatically you go. Now if you didn't type the dot, but you type 1, then you use the open bracket and you press spacebar, it will remember you 1 open bracket. So then they will just type, right? So if you type like this, 1.1, right? Will they remember? Yes, it'll be 1.2. Okay, 1.2. So you type something, 1.3, type something. So if you press tab here, 1.3.1, you go in. So automatically this will actually work for any kind of a numbering that you have. So if you are preparing those documents like company policy and any legal document that have many sub point on, this is very good. Okay, so just work with your bullets and numbering. Okay, now after all this that I have gone through with you, right, you will notice something that you, at the end of the day, you actually don't use them on it. After we gone through a few more sessions, you notice that these buttons here, we will seldom use them. Right? We will seldom use them if we know how to use style. But nevertheless, you still need to know what these buttons are. In case you need to do a manual one, you know what to do. All right. So these are some of the content. Then there's something that I want to show you inside here. Right. There's another one called hanging indent. Now, hanging indent, I think I shown you last week already. See this data. Sorry, I'm going a bit fast. Look at this data. They type the title Y compose, then they press a tab key. See the tab key here? Then followed by nothing. So if I highlight this whole document, and I pull this hanging indent, the one in the middle here, this is called the hanging indent. I pull it over, right? So I'll take this. It says there hanging indent. No, higher a bit. Okay, this is called hanging indent, and I will drag this across. You notice that I will only drag the second line onwards of that particular content. There you go. So for anyone who prepare meeting minutes, you didn't design it using table, you can use the hanging indentator to help you. So you can highlight all this by holding the alternate key, highlight, and color it together. No problem. This will be a title. So alternate key, highlight, then you make it bold together. Why not? Right? So that can be done. So only hanging indentation will push the second line onwards in. With the help of the tab key, it will align the first line as well. Okay, now let me try starting from the beginning. Let's just say I type in here title 1. Okay, I press tab and I start to type. Right, so I just bang the keyboard. I just bang the keyboard. Now remember to press the space bar. So I have 3 lines and 4 lines like this. Okay, so if I want to make sure that the next paragraph, everything follows, I just have to make sure that I click here. I go to the, no, just click anywhere. Just go to the hanging indentation. Now this is left indent. No, go higher a bit, hanging indentation, and drag them. So let's just say you want to put it at 4. That's good enough. You notice that the first line also follow. If the first line you didn't put any tab, they will not follow, and you must press the tab, then they will follow. Okay, so if I go down now and press and enter, put there title 2. When I press tab, they'll remember I have this particular indentation. So I can continue to type. When I continue to type, it will not go to the left margin over here. Then it will continue with my indentation. You only have to prepare for one paragraph and you do the rest. So once only. The formatting is once only. Every time you press enter, you will inherit the formatting. You will inherit all this in formatting from you. So again, I just repeat this. You can type in the title. Okay, just press tab, and then what you do is you just start typing. Just start typing. So let me just repeat this one. Okay, so how you do it is, as long as you are still in this paragraph, you go to the hanging indent. Make sure the word hanging indent come out, then you push it. So once you settle down on the location, you just go to the end. When you press enter, you will notice that the hanging indentation is still there. So this one is title, number 2, tab, and then you can paste. Okay. So they are very neat one. The document is very neat. Okay. So then later you decided, oh, don't want to put so far away lah. Highlight both of them together, push your indentation in. Push it in. So that they will go in together. Right? So this is how you can use the hanging indentation. Now, so far, any question or not? Anyone? Any question?
So far, no.
So far, no. Okay, I'm going to show you this one this time. Okay, let me close this one. Go back to my file. Okay. Okay. I have still one more file that I want to show you here. The tab stop. Tab stop. So if I ask you to design this form using Microsoft Word, and this kind of form is not meant for you to type inside Microsoft Word. It's for you to print out, put on a tray for people to fill in. Right? You go to some of these agency, they will still give you form to fill up, and then you give it back to them, right? So you want to design this form, and you also want to make sure that the lines here are straight, and the line here at the back is straight. Now, many people, they do like that, name, and they put space. They put the colon, then space, then they use the line. Okay, the first one looks very good. So when they press enter, right? Space. Okay, address, the second one is address. So I type address, address. That's space. I try to align the colon. Hey, the colon cannot align. See, the colon cannot be in straight line. Because of the way you design, okay, never mind. Then you come here, you say, okay, I want to use this underscore. So you see, I thought it's straight, but it's not straight. Okay? It's not straight. So this kind of design is, when you see in the tray and anybody uses that form, you will know that this person who designed this using Microsoft Word doesn't know how to use Microsoft Word, for sure. It's a very ugly form where the line all in crooked one. So how can you make sure that the design is in good hand? That means the person know how to do it. They will use something called the tab stop. Microsoft Word had this feature which is very, very powerful, but not many people know how to use it. So I'm going to start with name. Okay, I will turn on the show height, name. Then I'll press a tab key. I'll press a tab key. Now this tab is too near to the word name, so I can actually insert a tab stop in my ruler. Okay, so the tab stop is right at the end here. Tab stop. This is called a left tab stop. Okay, I can decide what I want to use. Now there are a couple of tab stops inside here. This is called left tab. If I click it, it becomes center tab. If I click it again, it will become right tab. Now you all know the left, center, and right. These are the three. Then if you click again, you got decimal tab. If your information comes with number and with full stop, got decimal one. This is called the decimal tab. Now following, after that, you have this is for the bar tab when you have multiple column one, right? Bar tab. Then you go back to first line indent. Then you have your hanging indent. Then you have your left indent again, left tab again. So we are using left tab. Now after I type the name, I want to position it somewhere in 2.5. So I click at 2.5. So by clicking at 2.5, I'm actually inserting this tab stop over here. What you choose over here, when you click inside the ruler, that is the tab stop that you're going to apply. And you notice that my cursor is actually in the paragraph called name. So it's actually here now. So I can put in the colon. Then I press tab again. Oh, I think this one is too far. I don't want it to be so far. I can put another one here at 3. So now you see, it closed the gap. And I want the line until the end, until 15. So I go to 15, just click it. I just put a tab stop here, bring it closer to 15. Okay, so I have a tab, but I didn't press anything. So now you see the tab go all the way to the back. So you can place your tab. You imagine the tab is like a tab, it's like a bus stop. Usually when you press tab, it will just go. So the bus will only stop wherever there is a bus stop. They don't stop by the roadside anywhere you like. But I don't know, Malaysia, the bus stops everywhere. But by right, the bus only stop at the bus stop, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. Now, how can I get the line? I only have stops, tabs, but I don't have stops. So I go into this dot here. This is called the left tab. Left tab. I double click it. So when I double click it, I open up this tab stop. There are three, 2.5, 3.0, and 15. So I click on the 15, the one that I want to build the line. So there is something called leader. So I want to build a line that lead all the way to the tab number 15. So I use this one, number 4. Number 4 is a solid line. If I don't want solid line, I want dotted line, then I use number 2. So once I choose the leader that I want to use, I just click set. Now, when I hit OK, the line appears. Okay, I decided I don't want to use this one. Double click it. I want to use number 2. Set. Then it becomes dash line. Did I change? Okay, wait. I think I changed. I made a mistake here. So I double click this one. Okay, so this one, no tab. Is the number 15 is the one that I want to change. Set. Okay, so number 2, left, set. So this one will have no line. See, now it's a dotted line already. Okay, so this is how you can build the line for these people to write. So after that, you just press enter. You put address, address. So you press tab again, it will align straightly at the tab so that your colon is straight. Then you press tab again. That's it. Because every time you have done the first formatting, they will remember for every other paragraph. Okay, so I want to have how many lines? Here I got 1, 2, 3. So I press enter, tab. I don't even need to press the semicolon because this is the next 2 lines. So done already. Then I realized that I actually want it to space out, not so near. So I select all these 4 paragraphs. I will change this line to 1.5. Okay. So now all this will inherit 1.5 already. Now I can go down and look for this gender, age, and race. So I come down here, press enter. So I put here gender. Then I put the colon. I press tab again. So if I press tab one more time, you go to the end. I want to intercept somewhere in the middle here to put the word age. Therefore, I go to my ruler again. I point it at 6. You decide where you want to put. You put it at 6. So now you can type there age. Tap again, you go right to the end. Now I need another one for race. So I put around 10 or before 10. All right, then I put this one as race. Then I press tab. Now I don't have the line, right? So what I do is, you remember this number here? Okay, I told you I want 10. So I double click the left tab. So now you see you have 6 and 10. So 6, you choose number 2, set. 10, you set number 2, you set. Set ready. So okay. So now the line appeared. That's how you do it. So it's quite simple, right? You just add the tab stops. Okay, so the next line will be religion and marital status. So when I press enter, okay, I tell them, okay, I want there to be religion. Okay, then it's a colon, tab. Now then I want to put in there marital status. Hey, I don't want it to stop here. I want it to stop right at the end. So what I can do is, in this particular line, religion, I go to the tab number 10 here, I click it and drag it out. When I drag out, that means I actually don't want the tab anymore. I'm removing the tab. Now you go to the end, which means I can leave my marital status here, or I want to push it to the middle. So I just take this number 6, push it to the middle. So it can be positioned, but don't pull out. The moment you pull out, it will drop off, you know. You must make sure you move along the ruler. There you go. In the middle. Okay, so you press enter. So now we have something called telephone number. This is for the office. Colon. And this one is house. House telephone number. Okay, enter. Email address. Colon. Then it should go all the way to the end. So let's go all the way to the end. Take this one away. There you go. However, you see this is not done, not planned properly, right? Because I type ADDRESS. So what I can do is I select all this. Can I move them together? So I go to this number 2 here, left tab, and move it to 3. Right? Can I move it to 3 or not? Okay. What happened when I move it to 3? You see a lot of movement from a lot of other things, right? So don't simply move, don't simply move, right? So they are all different now. Okay, so the only thing is you must make sure you know whether you have long text or short text. So for all this, right? For all this, now we have to move all of them one by one. So let's take a look. I have 2 tabs here. I must move this one first before I move this one. Just now I moved this one to here. That's why it's overlap. So I'm going to take this number 3. I'll bring it in a little bit first. Okay. Then I'll bring the one in number 2 out. Now it's much better now. Okay. So this one I can bring it back a little bit if I want to. Oops. Bring it back a little bit. So it's closer. Now, once I take away the show height, it will look nice. Okay, so the last one here, I just press tab, it will go all the way to the end. Done already? So it's a matter of placing your tab stops where you want, then you can start typing. How you make the line? You double click that tab stop and tell them which leader you want to use. Okay. So let's make this one 2.0 so that you give more space for people to write. So like this one, you can also add another word, home address. Home address. So they type their home address, their gender, their age, and so on. Okay, so you can still further adjust. Okay, so you can design your form in that way. Now, do you realize that I put in a lot of effort to design this? Put in a lot of effort to design this. So what if you need this form from time to time in different document? Are you going to design it all over again? I guess immediately what we will think of is go and highlight this one, copy, then go to that document, just paste. Right? Very, very common. But I got a better solution for you. Okay. Now, if this is what you have designed and you like it so much, okay, so highlight one more line here. Okay, after this line, you highlight one line here. This is a new line with all the tab stop, right? Now, take it out. Don't want this new line, the empty line, you take it out. Don't want all this tab stop. Don't want. Make sure it's clean. Okay, either you can clear it or you can just pull them out, plug it out. Make sure there is no item and you highlight. Now, why you do this? You highlight including the empty line down there. That's because you do not want the tab stop to be inherited for other other lines. In case they get their tabs, it will run, you know. So you better don't interfere with your existing document tab stops. So you highlight this, you go to insert. Now there is this thing called quick parts. Quick parts. Under the text grouping, there's a quick parts. So inside this quick parts, you can actually save this text as your auto text. As your auto text. So I go to the auto text, I say, okay, let's save the selection. The one that I selected down there, I save this one. I call this one as form. Okay, fill in form. Okay, fill in by hand form. long name lah. Fill in by name form. So I click OK lah. So I will put it into the gallery called auto text and I click OK. Now if I go to a brand new document now, I just have to go to insert auto text, quick parts, auto text. I just do this one, fill in by hand form. Done. Do I need to redesign everything? No, I'm actually keeping my design in the auto text. Okay, if I want to insert an intro letter, so I have my intro letter here. So any document that you have, right? Any document that you currently have, if you want to save this as a template, next time you want to use it over and over again in your Microsoft Word, then you save it as an auto text. Okay, you save it as an auto text. So over here, I will just click this and okay. Let me just check first. I think something wrong with my document. There's a very big gap here. So I'm going to change this one to 0. Okay, I don't want this one. I want it to be single. Okay. Okay, so this is the one. Then I just go into my insert, quick parts, auto text. I just use the letter. There you go. This is my letter. So I have a letter here with the form on top. Why not? Right? No problem. Okay, after the letter, I want to put in the quick parts, which is a memo. So there's a memo. The memo. So if you are using a table to design, then you highlight the whole table and you put it into your quick parts. So this is something that you can do. Now this is a brand new document. I can delete one because I'm not deleting the quick parts. The quick parts is always there until I choose to delete them. Okay. Now there is one button up here called auto text. If you don't want to go up to the insert to look for the quick parts, you can insert something up here in your quick access toolbar. You can add in something called auto text. Okay, let me just show you how. There's a drop down arrow to customize your quick access toolbar. You go to command, more command. Now in the more command, what you do is, okay, let me just remove this one. I will go to this command. I say commands not in the ribbon. I will choose auto text. So let's go down here and look for auto text. Auto text, yeah, this one. Commands not in the ribbon. There are a lot of hidden commands which is not displayed anywhere in your ribbon one. So you can choose this commands in ribbon. You look for auto text. You just add it in, right? Okay. So now, if I want to use those auto text, I just click the drop down list. I can straight away use it. I can also save it from here. I don't have to look for insert quick parts. Understand? I don't have to do that. So I can immediately just click here, fill in. Or I want to do a letter, I do a letter. So this is my letter. You guys understand?
Oh, this is really cool. Means that you can actually save certain information as a template, then you call it out.
Yeah, let's just say you have a template for your quotation one. Your quotation. Right, you have a template nicely done with all the logo everything ready. So highlight the whole document and then put it as an auto text. The next thing you know is next time I'll say, okay, this customer asked for quotation. So you don't have to open up the old quotation, right? Then change the information. Sometimes you looper change the information. So you send out some other people's address. So it sounds so weird. So you can design one template where you will put in the wording. So this like it's a standard template. You just replace the text only. So just put in like this letter. Okay, so this is called auto text. Now you need to make sure that your document is nicely formatted, including putting in company logo and whatnot. Right. However, the auto text does not bring along your header and footer. They don't, they don't bring along your header and footer. Therefore, they only have the content. Okay, so inside this particular letter, okay, maybe until here, okay, you want to put in something called the form so that they fill in. Why not? Right? It's a combo. So name, ask them to fill in and then fax the letter back to you. Okay, what, right? Looks cool, right? So this is just the first round of my topic on formatting. Okay, so what have I gone through with all of you here is all this file that I have. Okay, let me just close this one. Save. Okay, these are the things that I have discussed with all of you here, So these five files. Okay, so today I prepared 5 files to show you how to do this formatting. Okay, plus the auto text. Okay, now sorry if I speak too fast because I try to make it within an hour.
Kevin, I think there's a question from Stephanie.
Okay, Stephanie, go ahead.
Yeah, Kevin, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Kevin, one question, just like the table you set up, right? Just now the table with the line one, the underline one, how it become, how to say that, when people fill it in, the line still exists. You get what I mean?
No. This one will not. This one will not. This one is supposed to be they use pen to write.
Oh.
This one now you must remember, this one is not for them to type here. If they do that, the line will go missing one. It's not for that. If you want to do that, then you have to use table.
Okay.
Table. Now, if you look at the topic that call send out, there is one last topic called forms. If you want to design forms for them to fill in Microsoft Word, there is a technique one. There's a technique to use forms. Not this one. This one is like you fill up. You have to print it out so that these people will fill it with pen and then send it back to you. This type of form.
Understood. Okay.
It's not the form that you are thinking.
Yeah, that's what I thinking that, wow, can I do some miracle? This like, wow, this one after I design, when I can write everything, then the line still there.
Okay, Ken, you do this, you do this, okay. You use something called table. So you can design how many line, how many column So in this case it's 1, 2, 3 column. So 3 column, multiple line. So you bring this one over like this, and then this one over like this. Okay, so this one is all the semicolon. This is where all the semicolon is. Okay, so for this table, you will go to the layout and you will tell them that you want it to be in the middle, center. Everything go to the center one. Okay, and you want to make sure that the margin, cell margin are all 0. Right? You can talk about the left, right margin, top, bottom margin, this kind of thing. Okay, so it depends on what you are looking, what you plan to do. So let's just say I put here name. Okay, and this is a colon. This is the home address. Okay, now after that, after you have done this, you don't want the border. Okay, this one is a colon. You don't want the border, you click this one. You don't want the border, so you go to the table design. You tell them the border, no border. Now you are still seeing all the dotted line, right? The dotted line is just a grid line only. You can take off the grid line also. Then very clean already, So what you do is you click here. You go to your table design, you tell them you want the bottom border. And this one, you want the bottom border. So all this you tell them you want to put at the bottom line. I don't know why cannot come down. I think it's because of the formatting here. Again, not double line, so single again. Okay, so because of the double line just now. Okay, so let me pull this one down a little bit more. Okay, I select this table, I will distribute the row nicely. So click here, I'll go to the border, bottom border, and this one bottom border. So this one, you can ask them to fill in.
Oh,
It's actually a table, but you take away all the border.
wow. This one even better because no matter that you use it to print it out or you just use it on the the computer itself, you don't worry about overwrite all the line.
So stay tuned with me until the last day, right? When we talk about the form, I will put in the form field, right? No one can actually change the title here from name to nama, right? Home
Oh,
address to alamat, they cannot change. They only can type here only.
can block one.
So that is a better form, right? There's a better form where you can apply restriction to it.
Wow, good.
Right now,
Expecting
all
that.
these are very open one. No, anybody can change one.
Yep.
Thank you for the question. So
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's really helpful, thanks.
so you just play around with all the. Now, word is nothing too complicated. It's just that we don't know. When we don't know, we make mistake. That's all. Okay.
Oh man.
So cool. This is all for me this week. I will continue now. A little bit announcement. Next week, I will not be around town. And at this time, next week, I am actually in the airplane. So I won't be able to do any session next week. So we have to postpone it to another week later. Okay, so next week, no session.
Finally, you
Okay.
get some rest.
1,000 apology. Yeah.
No problem. We can wait for this testing session to become.
Yeah.
So thanks Kelvin for the great sharing today on the font formatting, paragraph formatting, and also how we actually can insert a quick path and using the auto text. I think this is
Yeah,
an awesome feature.
Auto text is a very powerful feature.
Yes. Yeah, I just know that can actually set the format into the auto text.
Yes.
That's really cool.
They remember your formatting.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah.
That's really good. And very helpful on so that you don't need to copy and paste everywhere, right? You just can set it as a template, then call it up as the place that you want.
Sometimes we even forgot where we saved the previous file. Say cannot one.
Yeah. As what you said, you can actually copy the whole quotation template and then set it as an auto text. Then they call it up. Instead you open up the previous quotation and keep changing on the thing.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine who is a property agent, rental, so every time they got a rental agreement, rental agreement is a standard for house, right?
Yeah.
So she save it into her Microsoft Word. Every time there is a new case, she will just boop. Okay, the rental agreement out already. She just fill up some cell, ready.
Oh, cool, man.
No need to remember where she saved the previous file.
Yeah. Have to practice more on the auto text really. If you don't practice, then you will forget it.
It's if you already put in the QAT, the quick access toolbar is always there. You can just click it and then you see it's there. Right. So if you don't want it anymore, just right click it and go to organize. Then you can delete it.
Okay. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone. All right.
Well,
There is a feedback form. The link for the feedback form
a
actually
nice section.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right.
Goodbye.
There's a feedback form link pasted in the chat window. Feel free to share your feedback to Kelvin. All right.
Thank you.
We'll see you in 2 weeks' time. All right. Good night.
Awesome. Thank
Bye.
you.
Good night.
Yeah, good night.
Take care. Bye.
Good night.
Thank you.